For me, creativity is just trying. Everyone's capable of creating beauty. My name is Joshua Prince. I'm a metal artist, and I'm going to show you how I make a knife. One of the main reasons I do this has to do with the process that I enjoy so much, and not so much the results. The physical experience of the heat, the fire, the failure. Every project at its best will start with a concept for me. I have like this idea I want to do a winged dragon, and it got me thinking about a dragon devouring the sun. And I'll begin to sketch. I'll just sketch something that's impossible, and then I'll try to develop the actual technique to get to what I'm trying to do. Then I'll go out to my shop and I'll light the forge. So inside the forge, the temperatures go up to 2300, 2400 degrees. I'm looking at the material as it heats up more as a visual cue to me as to when the material is ready to begin to be worked. Once the steel is at the desired temperature, I'll take it out and I'll begin to manipulate it under the various tools that I have in the shop. Once I begin working the steel, the temperature goes out of it, and the risk of destroying the material increases as you work it down to lower temperatures. But it can always be just put back in the forge, brought back up to the appropriate temperature, and worked again. During the time of forging, I'll move between machines as appropriate. You can get a lot done in a very short amount of time. Forging is the most romantic visual part of the knife making process. There's these beautiful moments of material and sparks and fire. The glow of the material, very kind of enchanting. The way I know I'm done forging is usually exhaustion. I don't have an idea about it's got to be exactly right. I just have an idea that I'm pursuing, and when I feel like I've gotten really close to that idea, I just consider it done and I move on to something else. I think it's good. The final quenching or hardening of the steel is what gives the steel its properties. Usually we're looking for hardness, toughness, possibly flexibility. That's the wonder of steel, is you can sort of impart those qualities into the steel based on your temperatures. After a series of hardening and heat treatment steps on the steel, I have to take it to grind. It's important because that's where you go from something very crude to something very refined. Then I come back inside and I choose the handle material. That's sort of a slow process. Sometimes it takes me weeks to make a decision. For this knife, this is the material that I chose. And this is a piece of curly maple, tiger maple. It's basically just got sort of like these undulations in them, and it's just fit really well with the pattern that's in the steel. For the next step, we're gonna go outside. All right, so we're gonna demonstrate the etching process on a couple of samples that I have prepared here. We're using a chemical called ferric chloride, and I'm just gonna put some in the jar here. And this reaction usually it happens almost instantaneously. Might overflow this a little bit. So it acts on one steel and not the other. So you get basically two tones, silver and black, in darker color. So I'm going to show you a finished knife. So what I like about this knife is it has a whole reggae band on one side and a whole funk band on the other side. Yeah, this one's pretty awesome. And so this is called Soul Sonic Force, after one of the original funkadelic bands from my childhood. In order to make this a cutting tool, a useful tool, it has to be sharpened. And this one has been sharpened by just bringing the knife up a few degrees, creating that zero cutting edge. I would kind of sum up my process as catch and release. I catch the idea, I go through the process to create it, and then I release it. My name is Joshua Prince, and that's how I make a knife.
If you want to know what's going on,